This is another lecture related with information systems in digital environment. Right. With this lecture, we are covering business process reengineering with information technology, financial technologies, fintech, and data analysis. Yes, business process reengineering. What is it? Business process reengineering is the process of rethinking about the core business operation and making positive changes on core business operation. The goal of business process reengineering is improving productivity, profitability, and efficiency. Normally, business process reengineering is analyzing the current business process and current workflows and finding necessary places to re-engineer. That means where we have to change the process in positive ways. Finding those changes and making those changes, that is business process re-engineering. Information technology is very good opportunity for this business process re-engineering. When we are in BPR or business process re-engineering, there are why, what, and how questions to ask. First, what exactly we supposed to do? What we are supposed to do, not what we are currently doing, what we are supposed to. That means we have rethink about our system. We have rethink about our current business process. We feel this current business process is not the best way to do it. Then we are thinking what exactly we are supposed to do. And the second is what we are doing currently. We have to think what we are doing currently, what we have exactly supposed to do, what exactly is supposed to do, and what we are doing currently. That is the second question we have to ask. What is the current business process and what is the expected business process? First, what is the expected business process and what is the current business process? And third is, why do we do it like this? Why do we do it like this? Why we are supposed to do this like? The third question. The third why. What exactly is supposed to do? What we are doing? Why do we do it like this? And the fourth is, how do we do it sooner? Then how we can speed up this re-engineering process. That means how we can speed up the process to do the better way the core business function. Next is, how can we do it cheaper? Minimizing the cost is one purpose of business process re-engineering, and business process re-engineering process itself supposed to be cheaper. We supposed to think about the low cost and how we can do it better. We have to do it in better way. These are the why, what, and how questions we have to ask when we are in business process re-engineering. At the very beginning, we have to answer these questions, these 6 questions. Business process re-engineering is few step process. Mainly there are 6 steps. Initiate change. initiation of change is very important. Initiation of change is very important, and that is the very first step. Then in this stage we are thinking that we need a change. There are positive changes to do in this process. We are thinking that is the initiation of the change. The first step, initiate change. Once we think and once we share idea about the positive change, requirement of a positive change, then the second step is diagnosis process. We have to diagnose the business process. That process we are diagnosing, and we are identifying all possible negative processes or high cost processes where we are wasting resources, where we are wasting our time. We are finding all those required things by diagnosing the process. Once we finish the diagnose the current business process, then we are going to redesign the process. The current business process we are changing. The current business process we have to change. That change we have to design. Process redesigning is the third. Then once we finish the redesigning phase, now we know what we have to do. Next step is the reconstruction. Reconstruction is the practical phase. Practical phase means we are converting our design into practical truth. We are applying the designed process to the practice. That is reconstruction. Next, the process monitoring. The monitoring phase is look after what is happening. Is this happening properly? Is this implemented properly? Is there any mistakes in the design or construction? That is the fifth step. And next, envision the process. That is the last. But this is not the 100% complete step. But sometimes in the last stage too, we may feel that we need a change. This is continuous process. Business process reengineering is continuous process. Then after the envision step, again there are possibilities to think about changes. Then again we are starting initiation, process, diagnosis, process reengineering, process redesign, reconstruction, monitoring, and envision. This is continuous process. Implementation of new information system is a good opportunity to initiate business process reengineering. New information systems like enterprise resource planning, those information systems developed according to international standards. Implementing this type of information system is helpful to apply international standards to the business. When we are implementing new information systems or new technology, two options. One is we have a business process introduced by the system. Another is we have another business process which we are using currently. Then we have to compare this both and we have to select the best practice to apply in your business process. This comparison is known as business process mapping. Process mappers are clearly identifying both business process introduced and trying to apply those practices in the business. This is very important step. If these process mappers couldn't identify the correct business process, the best practice, then business process reengineering will not success. This is win-win situation. If the practice introduced by system is the best practice, then we can apply that into the business process. If the current business process is the best practice, then we can continue that and information system can apply that operation into the system. Finally, understand the technological implementation is a best approach for business process reengineering. Information technology has many uses in finance. That is vary from trading financial instruments to keeping records in personal budgets to reporting the earnings of business. Computer technology is used by financial companies daily basis. Information technology allows the rapid calculation of financial statistics as well as electronic transferring of money. An ATM machine, which stands for the word ATM stands for automated teller machine, that is specialized computing device that make it convenient to manage a bank account holder's funds. It allows person to check account balance, withdraw money, print statements of account activities, transactions, like that. These ATMs can be on-premise or off-premise. On-premise ATM machines are installed in bank premises, and off-premise ATM devices are installed in common places like airports, hospitals, and supermarkets, etc. These ATM devices have multiple input devices and multiple output devices. As an example, for multiple input devices, we have to insert the card and we have to type some information like secret code and amount willing to withdraw. And output devices, the screen is one output device, and the printer, the thermal printer is one output device, and the when we are withdrawing cash, that is also another output device. Then these ATM devices are coming with multiple input devices and multiple output devices. The word CDM stands for cash deposit machines. In its physical appearance, both ATMs and CDMs are seems like same devices. CDMs are designed for cash deposits. ATMs for withdrawal, CDMs for cash deposits. Then you can insert cash into a tray and then you can deposit money into your bank account without waiting in the queue. CDMs have special technology to identify fake money. There are special banking retail devices integrated these two technologies, both CDM and ATM, in one single machine. That is very easy to handle from the financial institute side. For ATM, they have to feed money, then only customers can withdraw. If CDM and ATM is integrated, then customers can withdraw what other customers deposits. That is minimizing some day-to-day efforts to maintain ATMs and CDMs. Kiosk. A kiosk machine is self-operated retail banking system that facilitate automatic usage for performing various cash and non-cash transactions like money transfer, printing accounting statements, checkbook requests, bill payments, and resolved in some other query. Kiosk banking is the recent development in banking technology after ATM and CDM. Fund transfer in cash deposits, cash withdrawal, passbook entries, check clearance, print statements, issue checkbooks, modify bank beneficiary details, loan facilities. These are very important facilities offered by kiosk. Online banking. Online banking allow customers to conduct financial transactions over the internet. This is also known as internet banking. Online banking offers customers many services traditionally available to the local bank branch. That includes deposits, transfers, bill payments, etc. Online banking allows users to conduct financial transactions via the internet. Consumers are not required to visit the bank branch. The customers need device and internet connection to perform their online transactions. Banking transactions offered online vary by institution to institution. Most banks generally offers basic services such as transfers and bill payments. Some banks also allow customers to open up new accounts and apply for credit cards through online banking portals. Online functions may be include ordering checks, putting stop payments on checks, or reporting a charge of address. Online banking does not permit the purchase of traveler's check, bank drafts, certain wire transfers, or the completion of certain credit applications like mortgages. Mobile banking. Mobile banking is the act of making financial transaction on mobile device. As an example, your mobile phone or tablet. This activity can be as simple as bank sending fraud usage activity to client cell phone, or as complex as client paying bills or sending money abroad. Advantages to mobile banking include the ability to bank anywhere and at any time. Disadvantage include security concerns and limited range of capabilities when compared to banking in person or on computer. Mobile banking is very convenient in today's digital age, with many banks offering impressive applications. This ability to deposit checks, to pay for merchandisers, to transfer money to friend, or to find ATM instantly are reasons why people choose to use mobile banking. However, establishing a secure connection before logging into a mobile banking app is important, or else client might risk personal information being compromised. Cyber security is very important when doing transactions online or doing transaction with mobile devices. Cybersecurity has become increasingly cybersecurity has become increasingly important in many mobile banking operations. Cybersecurity encompasses wide range of measures taken keep electronic information private and avoid damage to or theft. Mobile banking offers you many services offered by online banking, but online banking is doing transactions via bank's secure website. Mobile banking perform those transactions via mobile website. The difference between online banking and mobile banking is using a secure mobile app to perform customers transactions. This mobile application is supposed to develop to compatible with many mobile devices such as iOS and Android. But the online banking, that is just a website to perform transactions over the internet. Except financial industry and financial section, information and communication technology impacts other business operations too. As an example, communicating with stakeholders. Stakeholders are the people who are interested in your project or your business. Regular communication with these stakeholders are very important. As an example, suppliers, customers, government, competitors, they are stakeholders. Keep regular communication with these stakeholders. That is very important fact for business success. We are using information and communication technology for this communication purpose in many ways. As an example, we can say we are using electronic mail. I think this is very effective and original form of communication in electronic. And the voice over IP. Voice over IP means we are using internet protocol for communication with our stakeholders. As an example, we can say we are using some IP phones. We are not using general communication lines. We are using internet protocol, and we are using instant chats like Messenger, WhatsApp, mobile phones, video conferencing like Zoom, Microsoft Team, online meetings. These are ways we can communicate with our customers, suppliers, and other stakeholders. Communication is very important fact in business, and fast communication is very important to gain competitive advantage among your competitors. Inventory management. Inventory management is core operation in many business organizations, especially in manufacturing and distribution businesses. Inventory management is very important. How we can use information and communication technology, inventory management systems. As an example, if we consider point of sales in modern supermarket, we can see many information and communication technological equipments they are using. Barcodes, barcode technology they are using, then they are using barcode readers. In point of sales, in post terminals, in addition to barcode readers, credit card readers, debit card readers, many electronic methods they are using in their transaction processing. In warehouse management, also we are using ICT. Inventory tracking. Inventory tracking means what is the inventory level, what is the order to be placed. These all we can use for all these operations. We can use IT, information technology. Then we can do better warehouse management, better point of sales, better inventory tracking. As a whole, a better inventory management. Management Information Systems or MIS. This is very important information system in any organization. Management information system is very helpful information system for decision making. Most probably middle management and the top level management. Once they make success decisions, then the organizational success also assured. These management information systems, mainly they generated different types of reports for decision making. Mainly these management information systems are bound with business intelligence, business intelligence. That means management information systems are analyzing deeply available data, then they generate hidden patterns and many valuable information. And management information systems are improving the decision making process by providing quality information. And MI is also very helpful for implement controls of the organization. And finally, MIS help to get corporate performance. There are some other factors to improve the interest on management information systems. Management information system, which is driving higher MIS use inside organizations. Higher competition in this era requires that the managers and business leaders make faster and better decisions. Due to increase in competition as well as higher operational pressures, managers have to make decisions faster based on the data and information in their hands. It is made possible through the use of management information system. Improved decision making, efficient operation, better communication and connectivity we can identify it as key operations and functions of management information system. Customer relationship management helps you to maintain proper communication with your customers. From the point of receiving order and deliver and getting after sales complaints, customer relation management is very important. Applying information and communication technology in customer relationship management that improves the efficiency, productivity, and that helps to gain customer loyalty. CRM integration with electronic mail that helps to send target electronic mails to target audience and follow-ups, customer situations, customer satisfactions, order status, everything we can follow using CRMs. And transmission of documents and electronic marketing we can promote some product to existing customer base and sales calls and managing relationships. These are integrated with customer relationship management. Comparative advantage is another important advantage we can gain through information and communication technology. Comparative advantage is the advantage we can get among competitors. The information revolution is sweeping throughout economy. No company can escape its effects. Dramatic reduction in the cost of obtaining, processing, transmitting information are change in the way to do business. Most managers know that the revolution is underway and few disputes in importance. As more and more their time and investment capital is absorbed in information technology and its effects, executives have a growing awareness that the technology can no longer be exclusive technology of electronic data processing or information system departments. As they see their rivals use information for competitive advantage, these executives recognize the need to become directly involved in the management of new technology in the face of rapid change. Here are some advantages we can gain through competitive advantage. This competitive advantage, when we are applying the technology to gain competitive advantage, improve service delivery to customers, improve organizations' responsiveness, change the basis of competition, improve organizations' overall performance.